In this video, I'm going to show you how to use VLOOKUP functions in your daily analysis. I'm Jose. In this video, I'll help you to understand VLOOKUP functions even if you've never used it before. By the end of the video, I'm going to share with you my hacks for doing it faster. If this kind of content makes sense to you, please subscribe now and leave a thumbs up. Let's jump to it. Well, this is the spreadsheet we're going to use for understanding what is and how to use VLOOKUP. So, what is VLOOKUP? Well, actually, VLOOKUP is a function that helps us to look up some information in a range of data. Okay? You're going to understand what it does and how to use it. After we use the regular way, I'm going to show you the way I use it by myself. So let's start it. The first way of doing it, you can start just selecting the cell you want and pressing the insert function button here, right here. Okay, let's show you. This is the button inside formula. All right, and then you can choose here the formula we are looking for. Okay, that's the first way, the easiest way, I guess, but we're gonna type it. All right, so equal sign. Every single function in Excel starts with an equal sign. So let's type it. VLOOKUP, okay? And then the first argument, as you can see here, we have 4 arguments: lookup value, table array, column index, and the last one is true or false. It is not in here, but I'm going to explain to you when we get there, right? So let's go to the first argument, lookup value, all right? Lookup value is the value we are going to look up in the table we are working with, all right? Here we got the table, and we have to say what is the value we are going to look for here. This is the table, and we have to say to the function what is the value we are going to look up here. All right, so we have 2 ways of doing it. We just click in a cell and then we define what is the information we are going to look up in the table, or we can just write in here. Okay, and we can say we want to look up customer like A, for example. But for being more professional, we just leave it here like a G3, that is the name of the cell. All right, okay. Table array, where we are going to look up the value, and we can just choose the table. Okay, this is really important what I'm gonna tell you right now. When we use VLOOKUP, we always have to have the value we are looking for in the first column of the spreadsheet. Okay, like in this case, the first column is A, the second column is B, and the third column is C. I'm sorry. So the value I'm going to type right here have to be in the first column that I've chosen here. Okay? I could not start my table array from B. You know, the table, the first column of the table has to be this one. Okay? If you don't do it, it's gonna give you an error. All right? Because VLOOKUP has to find something. Let's go to the third argument. This is the column index. All right? So the column index says that in my table array, my first column is customer name. My second column is customer code, which means column B, right? and my third index number is 3, which means value, column C. So as you can see here, we want to bring our customer name, okay? So we're going to consider 2 because this is the second column, okay? I'm sorry, let's go back to it. Okay, so we're going to bring the second column, right? And then we have an option of true or false. True means approximate match, which we don't usually use it, okay? And false, exact match, okay? I always put 0 here. Not true, not even false. I use 0. 0 means exact match, all right? That's what we are going to consider it, and I recommend you to use it. Okay, and we got an error because I didn't give any customer number in G3 for bringing the information that we are looking for. So let's consider like customer D, right? And let's put it here. Okay, so for customer D, our VLOOKUP function is bringing 1564. It means that our customer code is 1554. So as you can see, our VLOOKUP function is working perfectly because it is bringing the second column of what customer D means. All right? Oh, okay, this is the one. And then we are going to bring our value. And I'm going to show you how to use VLOOKUP in a different way, okay? The way I usually do it. So I just type it, VLOOKUP, and then we're gonna say VLOOKUP value, which means customer D in this case. And then we go to the first column, okay? I just select the entire column. You get it? It means control space, okay? Shift, right, hold shift and press the right twice, and you're going to select the entire column, the entire 3 columns, okay? And then we're gonna say, well, I want the third column, and then I'm going to consider 0 here, okay? Which means false if you want to write. And then let's do it. Okay, this is the number, okay? Customer D, let's see, 1564, and the value is 17,653. All right, you got it. Let's just change the number format. Okay, great, right? You got it? So we can do it real fast if you want, okay? Okay, let's do it, man. Okay, got it. This is the regular way we usually form the VLOOKUP function, okay? But there is another way. People don't usually use it, but you know, it is important you to know, okay? Let's go back to the argument here. The first argument, the value that we are going to look up here in the first column, all right? And then we choose the table array. It means the database that we are going to use for looking this first argument here, right? And then I have to say to the function which is the column that Excel has to consider for bringing the information, okay? The first column is the column that has the lookup value. The second column is in this case, is the customer code. And the third column is the value, okay? And the last thing is true or false, and I just put a 0, and it means the false, you know, it means the exact match. Okay, so let's do it. In the table array, I can use it with names. It means that I can give a name for these 3 columns right here. And it means that if I give a name for these 3 columns, I just put the name right here and bring it back and use it inside my VLOOKUP function, right? So let's do it. First thing, let's select our 3 columns. We are going to define the name, okay? Select it. Let's define a name for these 3 columns. Let's call it customer customer table, right? Okay, give it a name. So let's do it again. Okay, customer name, VLOOKUP, just type it. VLOOKUP value is the cell G3, okay? The table array, I will not choose like I did it before. I'm going to bring my name that I gave him, and it is customer table. This is right here. All right, you get it. And number 2, because I want the second column, and 0 or false. And then that's the magic. Let's do it again. VLOOKUP, customer D, customer table. I'm gonna select it. This is number 3 because the third column, 0, and then it is dynamic, right? So if I change it, and now let's say you want to have a drop-down list here. Okay, it's really easy. Just come here in the data validation, and here we just will allow a list. Okay, just put it in here, a list, and source, we just bring it here, right here. Of course, if it is a small list. If it is not a small list, you just consider this, right? And right here, let's jump into it. Or let's go back to B. All right. So now it is dynamic. As you can see here, you just choose the customer you want to see, and then it will automatically pop up the customer name and the value, whichever the value it is. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, or if someone you know who needs it, leave your comment below what you think. See you in the next video.